Oh, we have an ostrich with an on-off switch. Old Man in the Sea. Ostrovsky. Orhan, Pamuk.
Hello, my name is Jim. Welcome to my booktube channel about books and reading and stuff. Today I want to look at the O tag. Oh, what's O for? Here I've got octopus and oboe. I can't give you a question about that.
O is for
octopus. O is for orange.
O is for 1, 2, 4. In Beloved by Toni Morrison. The first part begins 1, 2, 4 was spiteful. The second part we have 1, 2, 4 was loud. And in the third part we have 1, 2, 4 was quiet.
1, 2, 4 added together makes 7. 7 is the number of letters in Beloved's name. This could be significant. 1, 2, 4 is the address where a lot of the action in Beloved takes place. 1, 2, 4 is a grey and white house that's quite run down. It's in Bluestone Road, Cincinnati, Ohio. Is there an address in your reading that stands out? There are many famous addresses in books like 221B Baker Street, the address of Sherlock Holmes, or 84 Charing Cross Road, the address of the bookshop where Helen Hanff from New York writes requesting books that she can't find in New York. Once upon a time there was a booktuber who made alphabetic tags. O is for once upon a time. Do you have a favourite fairy story, fairy tale? I'm not sure, but when I was a kid I think I read Jack and the Beanstalk, or had it read to me more than any other fairy tale. And it gave me nightmares, which I talked about in the end tag.
Olga's Observer's Books. O is for Observer's Book. Do you have any of these? The first Observer's Book was the Observer's Book of Birds. A lot of the early Observer's books were to do with nature. There were birds and wild animals and flowers and trees and things like that. One of the later ones is the Observer's Book of Victoriana. But for me, I like to collect the Observer's Book of Automobiles. This is number 21 in the series. The first one came out in 1955, but the oldest one I have is the 1959 one. Observer's books were published until about 1982, 1983, when the publisher Frederick Warne was taken over by Penguin, and then they kind of stopped. The later ones, like Victoriana, which came out in 1980, these are quite rare because fewer of them were published. The Birds one is very popular. Many of them were published from when it started in 1937. The earlier books have a dust jacket. The later books have a laminated cover. On the back they had a list of the Observer's titles available. Altogether there were 100 in the series. On the back of the Birds one, this was from the 1970s, it goes up to 48, and there's a few numbers missing, like number 20, which was the Observer's Book of Mosses and Liverworts by Victoriana. Victoriana was number 90, but they had 100 altogether. They stopped putting them out really in 1982. There were 2 more after a long hiatus. Number 99 was the Observer's Book of Books, and number 100 was the Observer's Book of Forest and Woodland. The Observer's Book of Paris was another of the late publications, and I see on Amazon this one's going for $63.
I also see on Amazon the Observer's Book of Automobiles, the 1968 version is going for $579. I've got no idea why they priced it so high. I think it's just someone trying their luck. O is for Olga, Tokarczuk and Orhan Pamuk. Have you read either of these Nobel Prize winning authors? I read Flights by Olga Tokarczuk. I liked it, I enjoyed it, had some interesting observations about travel, but I didn't really feel I was reading a Nobel Prize winning author. I've read a few books by Pamuk. The first book I read was My Name is Red, where we start with the murder victim at the bottom of a well, giving his account of his murder. It's a bit like Rashomon, the Japanese film, where we have many different accounts of a murder, including the murder victim. I also read Snow, which is a contemporary political novel, and the Museum of Innocence, which is about one man's obsession about this woman. But my favourite by Pamuk is Istanbul, his memoir of the city he grew up in. This is a really good book. O is for Old Curiosity Shop. Which of Dickens' novels do you like the least? I picked out Old Curiosity Shop not because it's the one I like the least, it's because I saw a video by Jack, the Rambling Raconteur, talking about the books he hates from authors he loves. My least favourite Dickens is probably Oliver Twist. This was his second novel. I have a couple of problems with it. One is the character of Fagin, who is portrayed grotesquely, anti-Semitically, and in the first few chapters is just referred to as the Jew. My second problem with Oliver Twist is the character of Oliver himself. He doesn't seem to me like a genuine child. He seems more like a young, shy adult. In later books, Dickens improved. The character of Mr. Rhea in Our Mutual Friend, his last published novel, is a sympathetic portrayal of a Jewish character, and in David Copperfield, Charles Dickens showed that he could show what a child looked like and thought like. O is for oldest. What's the oldest book in your collection? This is the Manga Bible. The Bible was started in about 1200 BC and was put into Latin about 400 AD. This Manga Bible is from 2007. Here we have David and Goliath. But this is not an old book. The oldest book from publication is probably just this one. I don't have many old books. This is the Observer's Book of Automobiles. This is the 5th edition. It was not published in 1959. I don't have any older books than this in my collection. I don't collect books. I have a lot of books, but I have them for reading, not for the purpose of collecting. O is for Oxford. What was the last book you read set at a prestigious university? Whilst I used to live in Oxford, the first 6 months of 1991 I lived in Oxford. The last book I read set in a prestigious university was The Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This was set at Yale University on the east coast of America. Leigh Bardugo herself went to Yale. It's an urban fantasy, dark academia fantasy. The central character, Alex Stern, is brought into Yale University not because of her academic prowess, but because she can see ghosts, or greys as they're called in the story. And the ninth house is Leith's house, which is there to make sure that the secret societies of the other houses behave themselves. O is for Ovid. Ovid wrote the 15 books of the Metamorphoses. These were very influential on the Western canon, influenced Chaucer, Shakespeare, and of course Bob Dylan. Have you read Ovid's Metamorphoses? Obviously I'm not asking Steve Donoghue. I know he's read them many times in Latin and in English. Ovid was one of the 3 canonical poets in the Latin canon, along with Horace and Virgil. In school I did Latin for 4 years. We didn't read Ovid, we read Caesar's Helvetian Wars, and we read the first part of Virgil's Aeneid. I haven't used Latin since school. Quo opus facilius est, eho mihi gratius est. O is for original. If you're a booktuber, have you created any original tags? I know some of you watching will have created some original tags and some wonderful tags. The only original tags I have are these ones related to the alphabet. The first one I did back at the end of January, which was the A to J tag. I followed it up with the K to R and the S to Z tag, and now I'm going through each letter of the alphabet one at a time. Every Sunday evening, Tbilisi time, I'll put out a new letter of the alphabet. And if you're watching this, you know I'm up to the O tag. Who do I tag? Okay, I tag Overly Average Ben, Okie Dokie Bokie, Ayinda Loves Books, A Book Olive and Onyx Pages, and anyone who wishes to do this. If you like this video, you can like and subscribe below, and I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.